Cockroaches.
What?
Here, back at Bayside again. Sorry it's such a long time since the last vlog, but this is the closest time I've been to whatever. I've just seen Godzilla, the new one. It's the 16th, so saw it on opening day.
Alright, hey, I'm Tyler Schultz. You can also follow me on Google Plus, Tyler Schultz.
Since he's seen pretty much every Godzilla movie you can, I'll start off with a little lead up with him.
Right, yeah, Godzilla must be about my favourite series. I know just about everything there is to Godzilla. I'm a big fan of the sort of versus series, if I can call it that. Not too known. You know, like Godzilla versus King Kong 1963, Godzilla versus Gigan 1974, I believe. So, I mean, there is tons of them. There must be like 30 plus movies. Pretty hard to come by, but if you ever pass it, I mean, watch it. Now, for those of you who do not know, Godzilla, well, I'm hoping you all do know, Godzilla is pretty much like a big dinosaur that eats some movies, he comes out of the ocean, some he was a lizard and transformed through radio or activity, whatever, and he just goes around pretty much terrorizing everyone. I had quite high expectations about this movie, honestly, which I mostly go into the movies not expecting much. But all those expectations were met, eh? I mean, I loved the movie. I absolutely loved it. So, yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
It's like a soccer thing.
Yes,
So, with that history lesson in check, let's talk about this film. With the story starting out, I felt that it did its job. Wasn't anything great. Got predictable at points, but without wishing to spoil, it does work. Let's go to the professional here. Did it like pay homage, or was it what you needed it to be?
I do not know what pay homage means.
Pay homage means did it reference previous films?
No, actually, an interesting thing is with all the Versus series, they do carry on from one another. So, example from the one movie, let's say Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla comes out, and then the next movie, when he comes out again, everyone will be like, oh, it's Godzilla again. This is it just started again.
Right, it is a reboot.
And no one pointed out Godzilla, in this movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nah, not at all, really. I mean, it was called Godzilla, but I mean, that was about it.
Was it still sort of, did it feel like the Godzilla story it should have been?
Yeah, I mean...
the actors, Kick-Ass himself is the lead army dude. He does a pretty good job. Sometimes it was a bit wooden. I'm not sure it was just because he was trying to portray like a military man, but he was great in Kick-Ass, so I imagine it is done on purpose. I was a bit disappointed that Walter White, Bryan Cranston, this time with hair, wasn't in it more. Like he didn't really... He stole the show for every single scene he was in, but he got a bit short-shifted. Did you feel anything about that? About the characters and things like that?
No, well, I mean, only at the end of the movie I figured out, Walter, what's his real name?
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston, who he was, because I'm just so used to him without hair. I think he should have had no hair for the movie. That would have been nice. But mostly I don't think too much of, the actual actors in it or actors. So that's a professional over here for all that stuff.
So, moving on to the topic of the overall visual experience, I felt that it was a great visual ride. The CG, boom, it's probably out of shot right now. That's how insane it is. It looks great. In fact, it looks about this big. It looks about this good. It still looks. Whoa. Yeah, no, that's how good it is. It looks, guys. Also, the angles, they didn't take me out of the movie, so great on that. And like Avengers, where like every angle is like just for the sake of it. But it's just it was cut well. It sounded great as well. What did you think about the whole sort of visual?
The visual effects are definitely up to the century we're living in. I can't complain. I mean, if you've seen any of the earlier Godzilla movies, I'm talking 1950s onwards, you can't complain about visual effects. So I'm sort of used to it also. I was really blown away, honestly. I mean, they were amazing. It's not something really I'm used to. These newer...
Yeah, so, when Godzilla... I think that a spoiler? Okay, but we're not putting that in there. This is a sort of mid-length movie. 2 hours and 3 minutes.
2 hours and 3 minutes.
Great. So let's talk about how long it felt.
Yes. Yeah, with the pacing of the movie, there was a few spots where it kind of, went to other subjects, and then
What were they?
Well, that's for you guys to watch the movie and find out. But the point is that there was those things. I can't really say what they were. But then I thought, this is gonna drag on now. This is gonna go on, but it didn't actually. Also,
And so, in the magical world of us not being able to think of anything else to talk about that doesn't spoil the film for you, we go into the final thoughts. Would you like to go first?
all right. Yeah, really, this movie, as you can see, there wasn't really much I was complaining about. I mean, this was overall a really good movie. I love it. This is my second favorite Godzilla movie. First being Godzilla vs. Gigan, which is absolutely awesome. If you ever find it, must watch. But back to the Godzilla that we actually did watch.
Yes.
It was awesome. I would say from 1 to Godzilla, this is probably a Godzilla all the way.
Would you like to explain that rating system to the babies at home?
Okay, that's my rating system. Pretty much 1 to Godzilla means 1 to 11, 11 being Godzilla. As this was a Godzilla film, it actually got Godzilla. Right.
Even the worst Godzilla gets a Godzilla rating.
Yes, even the worst Godzilla would get a Godzilla rating.
Okay. And now my final thoughts. Overall, I thought it was a very good, sort of action-packed, massive film, which, felt satisfying and everything. Ultimately, the story was a tiny bit shallow, with some characters that you kind of got lost with. So, I'm going to rate it just above Spider-Man 2, since that's the only other one I've rated. So overall, guys, love this movie, seriously recommend it. If you actually watch this sort of when the movie's first coming out in the States and stuff, then, yeah, I hope this has been useful for you. Love you guys.
That's very nice. Okay, now I'm going to do the first button. I'm done. Was that alright?
That was great.
Thank you.
Would you like some? Would you like the other donut?
No, this is sufficient for me.
Just finish the chocolate egg first and we'll wash my hands.
Alright.
Beep bop, beep bop, beep bop, beep bop, beep bop, beep bop.
Human babies, do you actually see the handprint that I left there? Oh, that was
Very
hilarious. I thought it was awesome, they loved it.
I'm sure they do.
And now for the spoilers.
Yeah, okay. Now, the spoilers is pretty much most people that actually want to still watch this film, now you exit. Exit. Because we're going to say all those spoilers that we wanted to previously.
Yes.
Now we're just going to go full out. So, most people want to exit now unless you want to, not watch the film. For some reason I cannot understand.
Yes. Bad. Okay, so.
Should we explain what this was?
Oh, yes. Okay, so explaining what this was, with spoiler written here, was when Godzilla vomits blue lightning lasers into, what was the monsters? The other monster, there's also another monster.
There's like a lot. There's 3 monsters.
There's 3
And
main
there's all
monsters. Okay, so is this kind of like a relaunching of the buddy up system? Well, not the buddy up system, but I mean...
the buddy up system.
Essentially, are these new Godzilla enemies? Have they not been seen before?
They have not been seen by these eyes before, which
Okay.
is, so it's probably not been ever
Seen before.
seen before.
Because he has seen a lot of them.
Yes,
It's sad.
And like those parts I was telling you that sometimes I thought was going to drag on, those were pretty much all the children bits, which you see quite a
Yeah.
few. Because
No,
I don't like children.
I do agree with you.
But they weren't that bad.
That was the only reason I have some epiphany for Revenge of the Sith, because the only kid in it that talks dies, and they all die.
I love that movie.
You just literally lost the respect of everyone sitting there. Every single one of them.
I've also lost the subject, so maybe we get back to that.
And yeah, I hope this has been useful for you. Love you guys.
Doo 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 doo. Cockroaches. What?